So we'll just wait for 2-3 minutes till the participants join in.
Absolutely.
Then we shall take it ahead.
The joining, so we'll wait for
Yeah.
4 minutes.
So I think in this we can't see the participants, right? Or can we?
If you open the participant list, Nisha, then you can read the names.
Yeah, that we can, but I think we cannot see them.
We can't see them. You know, it's both of us talking to each other.
Yeah. Okay.
So good on a Saturday morning. We get to, discuss about such an important topic. Shall we wait for another 2-3 minutes, Nisha?
Yeah, I think so.
Now we can read in the chat box. Good morning, everyone. Another 2 minutes.
I think let's start.
Okay.
Okay, so good morning, everyone. Firstly, we would like to welcome all of you for this wonderful session on play. And since we all know as parents, as teachers, and as educators that play is something which we aren't considering as one of the most important thing in childhood. So let us just talk about it and know more about it. Garima, would you please introduce yourself?
Yes. Hi, I'm Garima Gar. I'm an educationist who's working passionately with young children from past 23 years. And I do this effectively by running my 2 preschools. I am an ECA territory head for Jaipur. Apart from learning and teaching, I am an enthusiastic reader and an avid outdoor person who thoroughly enjoys cycling and trekking. So very well, I can say I'm still in my play mode.
That's very nice.
Over to you, Nisha.
Thank you. And I am Nisha Jain Grover. I am a counselor psychologist, and the name of my organization is Vatsalya Legacy Educational Society. We are associated with about 100 organizations, public, private, and government, in about almost 10 to 12 cities in our country. And I'm also the counselor and psychologist for the development of child rights, which comes under the Ministry of Women and Child Development, and also a counselor and a psychologist with Child Helpline. So we've been very strongly working with children, parents, and teachers, and I also run a preschool in Jaipur with the same brand name. So to begin with, also I'm the territory head for ECA Jaipur territory. So to begin with, let me introduce what ECA is all about, and then we will show you a small video of what exactly ECA does and ECA is known for. So ECA is one-stop connection needed by all the enrichment, needed for all the enrichment and networking programs for children. It aims and empowers teachers, professionals, educators, and everyone, those who work in the sector, when we call it as the childcare sector or the early years sector. Also, it provides resources in form of courses, in form of books, in form of other training programs to all the educators and teachers. This could range this could range like for from information with coming from latest research, training and ideas, perhaps also a lot of solution and counseling available to people across the world. Garima, can we have the video for the audience, please?
Yes, I'll play it. Yes.
Early childhood development, early childhood care makes a huge difference. A difference that persists well into adulthood. It shapes who you become. At that age, 98% of the brain develops. New connections are formed. That will become the blueprint of the child for life. If at that age kids don't receive the right kind of care or learning, they will grow up with a few crayons missing from their life's pencil box. And why should that happen to any child?
We say children are the future, and that's true. But there is a fundamental problem with that idea. It suggests that they are just kids now, but later, when they become the future, we can start taking care of them with colleges and universities, a better economy, a better job climate. But that's wrong. A recent New York Times editorial poses the question, do we invest in prison or preschools? The answer is obvious. The most critical time that you have with children is right now.
The problem is not that we don't want to care for our children. People just need to know how. Parents, teachers, the government, all the stakeholders in the future of our children, we go about it on a trial by fire basis, learning each time as the child grows up. But we need a more structured, a more uniform way to do this. At the Early Childhood Association of India, that is our mission, to help the country invest in taking care of its youngest citizens.
Children go through a period of rapid learning in the first 5 years. The most embedded parts of their personalities, their attitudes, moral values, social values, their learning abilities, how they deal with people, how they deal with situations, good or bad, they are all a product of experiences that they have between the ages of 0 and 5. That's when they learn how to adapt and respond to the world. It's not going to happen overnight. We are looking at big changes, revolutionary changes, but we are taking baby steps. Still, If we can learn anything from these children, it's that baby steps can make a big difference if they are in the right direction.
It's so nice to see that ECA is doing such wonderful work, and we all together as the family of ECA are working towards to get some revolutionary changes, as Swati ma'am says. So would you just introduce the book, Garima, the play policy book, and then we
Yes.
can go ahead
Yes,
by
Nisha.
explaining them what exactly play means. Yeah.
Yes, definitely. I'll start right away. And here today we both are to understand what is play first. Yes. So if I open a dictionary and I see what is the meaning of play, it says to have fun, to do something which is enjoyable, to do an activity which we enjoy doing it. In simple language, maze karna. So isn't it a beautiful feeling to even hear it out that maze karna? हम खेलते हैं तो हम क्या करते हैं? मजे करते हैं. So children are so full of energy, and if we do not channelize their energies, I'm sure they'll fall to the easy version of it. What is it? Television, gadgets, and they'll all become lazy and addicted to screen. And in the process, what will happen? The 98% brain which develops in the first 5 years would be all going in front of either screens or in front of notebooks. Yaad karo, likho, rato, padho, that is all. And we will somehow forget the main thing which we are supposed to do in these first 5 years, that is do neural connections, stimulate brain, stimulate growth in brain, because our 98% brain is growing in this first 5 years. And to understand this, that why play is so important and why play is recommended by each and every educator, we have a book now. I think, Disha, you can see the mirror image, I suppose. Yeah? Okay. So
Yeah,
let me
to see.
Okay, should I work that out also? Now, just see, check this now.
Yeah, get it a little closer to the camera. Yeah, better.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so this is the book we're going to discuss today. We're going to talk about today, the Play Policy India. We are so thankful to ECA APER for drafting this book. We are so thankful to Indian Academy of Pediatrics for approving it, for welcoming it. We are thankful to Dr. Swati Popat-Watts for this well-researched, well-thought draft, and both educators and parents will be hugely benefited with this book. So I urge everybody to go through this book. And Isha, I think the soft copy is also available. So the e-copy that they can find, or we can send that.
They can order it. They can order it online. Yeah.
Okay. It is there on the website of ECA.
Yeah.
Okay. So definitely there is no debate about the importance of play. Play is the right of every child. This book clearly mentions play is the right of every child. Play is prescribed in this book by doctors, by educators, very clearly. And we all understand that why a policy is required. Why, we all understand the importance of play, but still, why we're talking about a word called policy? What is a policy? Isn't it a guideline or a set of rules which we make to make something go smoothly? So when I talk of set of rules, of guidelines, was it required actually? We see play everywhere, but somehow we do not acknowledge it. We somehow do not admit it. So yes, definitely, the play was losing its importance, and definitely this policy was very, very much required right now. But all the parents and educators who are dealing with children to understand that play is the engine of learning, that learning and play goes hand in hand. They both are cohesive. Now what happens? Generally parents say, तुम ये कर लो फिर तुम्हें खेलने दूंगी, तुम ये पहले लिख लो फिर तुम्हें जाने देंगे खेलने, तुम ये समझ लो, ये याद कर लो, ये रीड कर लो, तब तुम खेलने जाना. Because at the back of their mind they feel play is wastage of time. They feel academic is the most important thing to me. Here they fail to understand that play is the child's right. They don't have to receive it as a reward or a prize. It is their right. The play doesn't have to be timed. इतनी देर है तुम्हारे पास, इतनी देर में तुम आ जाना. Play should be given as you can play as much as you want. But here, when I'm talking about play, I'm definitely not talking about video games. I'm not talking about play on your mobile or play on TV or watch TV. Definitely not. A big no for that. I'm only and only talking about play which involves three aspects: your muscle, your brain, and your senses. I talk muscle, मतलब body में आपका involvement है. आप बैठ के finger से नहीं scroll कर रहे हो और बस वो कर रहे हो. So one has to be clear what exactly play means, the forgotten play. This book also clearly defines the domains of child learning, be it social, be it physical, be it cognitive, and different stages of play. And I was amazed to know there are more than 25 types of play. That was amazing. And to understand them, to read them, made me realize that we are missing so much play. That children, every opportunity can be converted into a play opportunity. So this book is one stop for understanding and finding solutions related to all the play. So Disha, any other thing you would like to ask me for play?
No, I think let us, sorry. I think my phone is acting a little funny today. Okay, so let us, again. You have wonderfully explained what exactly the book is all about. Let us take all the parents and the educators, let us take them through what are the different kinds of play, what this book mentions, right? So when we talk of different kinds of play, as you already mentioned that there are 25 different kinds of play, but we are going to talk about 10 to 12, looking at the time that we have. So when we talk about 25 kinds of play, I would first like to start with unoccupied play. What do you mean by unoccupied play? So children, when they are born, till the 3 months of their age, they just play with themselves. They are occupied with themselves. It's not a guided kind of play that you would give them something and they will play, right? So usually infants, when they are occupied with themselves, moving their body, moving their hands, moving their legs, that is known as unoccupied play. The second is solitary play. Now, if you see children between 3 to 18 months, they would sit at a place, or they would just roam about here and there, observing things, picking up something and playing with things, playing on their own, literally alone. So, if they are in the kitchen, they would play with the vessels. If they are in the garden, they would play with the plants or some garden equipments. If they are in the washroom or in the restroom, they will play with the bucket and the mug or something like that. So that is solitary play. Then the third comes is the onlooker play. So onlooker play is, I as a child, when I see what other children are doing, I would see and I will learn from them, and then I would probably copy them, or probably try to play like them. That would be onlooker play. Then fourth would be parallel play. Now in this, what will happen, that children usually parallelly would play alongside other children, when they go to the garden, when they go to the park, when they're playing in the society. So, what the other children are doing. Suppose if the child has a bat and a ball in his hand, and the other children are playing hide and seek, or the other children are playing dog and the bone. So they would parallelly want to play like them or with them. Means they are learning with other children. What are the different kinds of game? What are the different kinds of play methods? Then comes associative play. Associative play means when children grow, they want somebody to play with them. So, solitary play is done, parallel play is done. Now when they understand that it is fun to play with others, it is fun to have others when you are playing, or when you are when you have toys and when you're running around, you can't just do things alone. So when it is associative play, they would want other children to come with them, and that is how they also learn social interaction, they learn social behavior, they learn what to share, how to share, what is teamwork. Everything usually comes at this age and at this stage of play. Then we have social and cooperative play. Again, it is a part of associative play. Now in social play, they would want other children to participate in what they are already playing. So suppose if I go down in my society and I am playing with some rocks in the garden, I would call other children and I would tell them, let us make something out of this rock and play in this. Or they would make paper boats all together and float it in the water, something like that. That is social and cooperative play. Then comes constructive play. Now, this is also a wonderful kind of play what children really enjoy, and it's one of the best developmental part for children. So, when you talk of constructive play, the word constructive itself, what does it tell? It tells us that when you make and build something. So children would like to play with blocks, children would like to play with puzzles, they would like to play with Lego, they would explore objects, discover something of their own, build something of their own, and play. So this also develops their intelligent quotient. It also develops their creative quotient. It also makes them kinesthetic. What do you mean by kinesthetic? Means you're doing and learning. I'm using my hands, my fine motor skills, my gross motor skills. So constructive play is said to be one of the most important play. Next is expressive play. I've heard, Garima, many times when I interact with parents in the counseling sessions, parents say that our children are not expressive. In the early 5-6 years of their life, when children play games which are expressive games, it becomes very easy for them to express their own views and opinions when they grow up. So expressive play is also not given a lot of importance in our country, like art, like dance, music, writing. So all this comes under expressive play. We also call them as performing arts, because we perform in that, we're doing something. So expressive play, and I'm so happy that in preschools, all the preschools across the world, art, music, dance, all that are part of the curriculum, and it helps children to express themselves in many different ways. Then the next part would be fantasy or dramatic play. You know, I remember when I was young as a child, I used to imitate my mother sometimes. I used to imitate my father sometimes. And I still remember my mom had got me a small kitchen set when I was like 3 or 4 years old. And I used to be in the kitchen and I used to cook like my mom. And I used to, break those Parle-G biscuits, mix them into water and set it up and take it to my dad and say that, look, I've made a cake for you. So I remember these kind of dramatic play, which is also called as role play. When you copy somebody and when you're doing that in your play is a fantastic learning. It teaches you concepts, it teaches you languages, it teaches you so many other things around us. Then there comes competitive play when we grow up. So when children start going to school and they join the school teams, wherein the teamwork comes, the entire team has to compete with the other team, which is also a very positive way of competition, wherein you are playing to show your skills. And many a times I have seen parents would tell their children, अब 8th 9th में आ गए हो, अब खेलने मिलने की जरूरत नहीं, अब पढ़ाई करो. But it should be vice versa. 8th 9th में आ गए हो, mental well-being के लिए, for your perfect psychological well-being, you should play. That is when your dopamine gets activated and you're doing better at other things, So team play is also wonderful. Children should be encouraged to participate in various kind of sports like basketball, football, hockey, cricket, whatever children like. Even if it is a individual sport like swimming, or it's an individual sport like boxing, they should be encouraged. And the last I would like to cover is digital play. So I think वो तो बच्चों को या parents को बताने की जरूरत ही नहीं है. Every other parent that I see and every other child that I see, whether the child is a 2-year-old child or a 20-year-old child, you don't have to teach them digital play. I think अब जो नए बच्चे आ रहे हैं, भगवान उनको digitally और technologically सिखा कर ही भेज रहे हैं. So even a 1-year-old child will know that what he or she has to do with the phone. But many parents are not understanding that maybe I think it's not proven, or maybe researchers are working on it, that playing virtually and playing digitally makes you faster in many other ways. It makes you write faster, your reading speed becomes faster, and your intelligent quotient is becoming better because you're doing 3-4 things together. But I don't know, individually, I believe that when you're playing a lot virtually and digitally, the how a laptop has a processor, even our brain has a processor. And when the laptop is overused, or when the laptop is used multiple times again and again, even the processor becomes slow. And when it comes to technology, it is imbibed in ourselves in such a way that it has now become part of our body, part of our system, and part of our day-to-day living. So I feel that having technology as a playway method or digital virtual playway in our children's life for the first 8 or 9 years, I think that processor can become slow. There can be many other things that they will not be able to learn, like social interaction, social behavior, handling people handling, which is one of the most important thing for us as human beings. So, and in these 2 years, we all have observed that what technology is doing to our children. And earlier, फोन मत दो, फिर आया फोन दे दो क्योंकि क्लासेस हो रही है फोन पे. And now again, every parent is like, you're all the time on the phone, you're all the time on the phone. So I think we need to find that balance of how play can be balanced intelligently when it comes to virtual play and digital play on the phone. So this is it, Garima. These are the different kinds of most important play that I wanted to cover for parents. And now you can take up the next topic.
Okay, here I like to add, which I just read in this book only, that if children are spending over 6 hours on screen, the brain structure is also changing. So here it's very alarming to understand that you can't say, Jaise brain है वैसा ही रहेगा, and you know it will not further grow, और मैं अब कुछ नहीं कर सकती. It is very very clearly mentioned कि brain structure भी change हो रहा है अगर गैजेट पे, अगर स्क्रीन पे टाइम बहुत ज्यादा बच्चे स्पेंड कर रहे हैं. So this really, you know, it is very very alarming. Okay, somebody's asking me again the name of the book. The book name is Play Policy India by Early Childhood Association. It is very much available on the website of ECA, that is eca-aper.org. Yes, now, Nisha, I'd like to talk about the role of preschools, because as we both are running preschools and we both advocate play, we both understand the importance of play. And at times, you know, it is very difficult for making the parents understand. So before even I start, I love to read this lovely poem, which is also there as a part of my diary, initial pages. So I love to read this poem. You say that you love your children and are concerned that they learn today. As am I. That's why I am providing a variety of kinds of play. You are asking what's the value of having your children play. Your daughter's creating a tower. She may be a builder someday. You are asking me the value of blocks and sand and clay. Your children are solving problems. They will use that skill every day. You are saying that you don't want your son to play in that sissy way. He's learning to cuddle a doll. He may be a father someday. You are questioning the learning centers. They just look like useless play. Your children are making choices. They'll be on their own someday. You are worried your children aren't learning and later they have to pay. They are learning a pattern for learning, for they'll be learners always. So this is the inspirational poem which I always love to tell all my parents. And as preschools, we keep play as the center of our curriculum. We give utmost importance to play because definitely we are not making children ready for today. We are making them ready for future. And future doesn't belong to us. We don't know what is there in future. How can we even prepare them for that? See, we never knew that COVID is going to be there. So, you know, we have to give them those life skills, those qualities where, you know, they can become risk takers. They can become confident. They can decide. They can face the consequences and come out of it. So how will, you know, a child between 2 to 5 years, how we can do? Or we expect, you know, we can't give a lecture to that child. We can't say ki jaake tum road mein chale jao and then you experience what is happening. It is only and only possible through play. You give them that choice, leave them in a room and let them pick, let them choose for them what they want to play, how they want to play. So I sincerely believe there is nothing called unstructured play. There's always a structure to the play, but that structure should be decided by the child, not by the educator or the teacher. So if I have given blocks to the child makes the tower, the child makes the house, the child makes the road. That is the child's outlook. That is not supposed to be decided by the educator. We just have to provide them with the material, and then it's their look or outlook how to work. Because if there is a tower and it falls down, I'm sure the child was ready for the consequences and is good with it. When I say the child, we have to teach resilience. So resilience का ये मतलब नहीं है कि बोल के समझा सकते हैं. It is something which you keep doing it and keep understanding it and get it in your personality. Like, मुझे तो ये करना ही है, कैसे भी करना है, and it only happens to things which you choose for yourself and you decide to do for yourself. So that is how we make them future ready. We make them risk takers, resilient, and best is creative. That is only and only possible through toys, through play. They can create things. They don't have to copy. They have to be creators. So I feel school do play an important role, and that's how the schools can initiate and go forward with it. So we can even talk about role of parents, Nisha.
Okay, so as you have beautifully mentioned, Garima, that what can be a school's, especially a preschool's role when it comes to play, as parents and teachers should also understand that they have a specific role to play when it comes to child's play in their life. So firstly, as parents, we must understand that the entire development, physical, social, emotional, and psychological, this entire development can be done beautifully just through play. The kind of things that children learn through play, parents should encourage in all possible ways. So let us talk in layman language in India what we can do at our own houses when it comes to the parents' role. Now, अभी कोविड है तो बहुत सारी चीजें हम नहीं कर सकते हैं, but I'm sure things are going to be fine and we are going to have normal lives soon, that we'll be able to go out anywhere. So I think once in a day for about say 45 minutes to 50 minutes, a child should be taken to a local park in their colony or their society so that he or she learns entire social well-being, social interaction, socio-emotional well-being is done over there at the park. The child should also be given a kind of exposure where the child is playing with some children who are a little older than him or her, and there are some children who are a little younger than him or her. So both the ways he or she will learn that how he has to manage when there are older children and how she has to manage when she has younger children around. So that this is one thing that the parents can take care of. The other thing is the parents should also play with their children. Maybe it is hide and seek, maybe it is ludo, maybe it is snake and ladder, maybe it is cards or anything. Anything and everything is okay if you're playing with your children. The other thing, introduce their life skills in playway things, like folding their own clothes, cleaning the washroom, washing their own undergarments. This all can be introduced in a playway method at the age of 3, 4, and 5, and so on. And when we don't introduce it age appropriately at the right age, there would be parents who come and complain me that, my son or my daughter is 19 years old and 17 years old, and they still don't wash their own undergarments. They don't come out of the washroom. And when they come out of the washroom, they don't even clean the washroom. They don't even wipe it because it is not introduced to them at the right age. So in playway methods, all this can be done. When you're in the kitchen, help them make the balls of the roti, जो हम लोई बनाते हैं रोटी बनाने से पहले. Help them to differentiate between the vegetables when it's there in the basket. So in playway methods, take out the lady finger, take out the other vegetables, keep it aside, take out the tomatoes and this and that. All that can be done. Counting can be done in playway method. Introduction of shapes can be done in playway method. Everything, all this can be done at home just through playing. All of these things we are doing at school, but just imagine if this is introduced in a playway method at home, how wonderful a child's learning would be. So a parent should understand that right from crying to laughing to understanding to smiling or to be happy, to be sad, to share, everything, all this emotional journey can be done beautifully with our children if parents introduce different kind of plays, age appropriate plays to their children at the right time and the right age. So I think parents, teachers, and educators, right from 0 to 8 to 9 years, play a very important role when it comes to introducing different kind of play to our children. And we all must understand that importance and not take it for granted if we want better citizens when they are 18, 19, and 20 years old. That would be from my side. So if you want, we can open it for question answers.
Yeah, we can do that. And if you want, I can recommend some few
So we have
toys.
one question from Namita Arora. She asked, when you say play with kids, how important is it to make them win? Because initially we start with let them win as they are small, then it becomes their habit. They don't want to lose. It's a wonderful question, Namita. Do you want to answer that, Garima? So maybe you can answer from your point of view and I can answer from my point of view.
Yeah, okay. So from my point of view, I think rather than winning, it is very important to teach losing. You know, the first, I think we're going all wrong here. Like, why we have to introduce or teach winning? I think the thing or the emotion which here is to be introduced is it is okay to lose. It's just absolutely fine. And you have to take it in a beautiful spirit. And everybody loses. Like either I lose or you will lose. One of us will lose. So that's how I will take it. And from day one.
Absolutely. I totally agree with you. And my say will also be the same because I totally agree on what you've said. And from day one, Namita, when you're playing with your children, be it any game, do not enforce winning. Because if you enforce now, how are you going to enforce when the child goes and does team play or social play when the child is with other children? Let the child understand that it is okay to lose and you can play again and you can give your best to win. And I need to keep giving my best till the time I win, and let the child get equipped with it at the right age before the other skills come to in his or her life, like jealousy or like giving it up or etc. Right? So right from day one, whatever game you introduce, it is okay if the children lose. Learn and teach them to lose, take losing gracefully, right? So any other question do we have? I think the name of the book is already mentioned over here. Somebody is asked again, Mr. Rajwardhan. The book is mentioned, the name is also given, and ma'am also mentioned it in the session. Do we have any other question? We are open for question answers if anybody has any question here. You can put it in the chat box. Okay, so we have another question from Miss Anuradha Agarwal. These days, children don't feel like playing with neighbor kids as they are elder. Okay, so you mean to say children don't want to play with other children in the society, in the colony, or in the neighborhood? So I would like to tell my point of view in a way that we need to see how much have we helped them or encouraged them to play when they were younger, when they were an adolescent, like 8, 9, 10 years old. You know, when they were adolescent, probably as a parent, we told them, नहीं नहीं उनके घर मत जाओ, उनको अपने घर पे बुला लो, उनके साथ खेलने की जरूरत नहीं है, वो बच्चा तो ऐसा है, and you know, maybe anything negative, or maybe our own security was shown to them as a parent, and now the child has already made a perception, he already has a mindset of what kind of children he has in his neighborhood, and that's why the child has decided, I don't want to play. This can be one of the reasons. The other reason is maybe those children are not cooperative with him or her. Maybe the child has been bullied by them. Maybe these children have made their own gang and they want to just suppress him with his kind of play, or maybe his play and their play doesn't match. So there can be various reasons. We need to intervene as a parent. What are those reasons? And we can give them a solution. Garima, do you want to add something in this?
I think she wants to ask this only, that the children are elder and they don't want to include him. So he feels very excluded. So that is what the reason is, like, you know, their play may be different from his play, or they have their own gang and they don't want to include. So rightly said, Nisha, the parent has to and talk to both the parties and understand that what is the way out with this.
So we have another parent who's asked कि कोरोना में बच्चे बाहर नहीं जा सकते खेलने, तो क्या करना चाहिए? I understand जिन्होंने भी ये क्वेश्चन पूछा है. Let me just go back. I think Miss Webibi, she's asked this question, and Webibi, I feel कोरोना तो अभी है 2 साल से और शायद थोड़ी सी टाइम में चला भी जाएगा. Meanwhile, जितना भी आप अपने एनवायरनमेंट में सेफ्टी को ध्यान में रखते हुए बच्चों को खिला सकते हैं या प्ले के लिए एनकरेज कर सकते हैं, यू शुड डू. एंड इफ योर चाइल्ड इज स्मॉल, तो प्ले वे मेथड में आप घर पे बच्चे को बहुत सारी चीजों में इन्वॉल्व रख के और खिला सकते हैं. मैंने बहुत सारे एग्जाम्पल्स पहले भी दिए हैं. सो प्रोबेबली जस्ट ट्राई दैट. एक्सरसाइज के फॉर्म में, फिटनेस के फॉर्म में, हर जगह जो है प्ले इंट्रोड्यूस हो सकता है.
Rightly mentioned all the home chores, they're so amazing.
And children love doing that.
Absolutely. You have to create that love for it. You don't have to create कि ये तो काम है और ये तो बस मुझे भी करना ही है. तो अगर हम इस तरह का बिहेवियर उनको देते हैं तो वो बच्चे भी सोचते नहीं 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 ये चीजें नहीं करनी, मुझे ये इंटरेस्टिंग नहीं होगी. इनफैक्ट अगर हम उसी चीज को इंटरेस्टिंग बना देंगे and we have that joy with them doing those things, they are super amazing with those things.
Absolutely. We have another question from Miss Anu Khandelwar. She's asking how to manage as my twin kids always want to play with each other and they don't want to play with any other child. So this is a very beautiful thing and a very worrisome thing also when it comes to twins, that they are so much involved with each other that they don't want to have any other child with them. But if your children are small and if they are comfortable to play with each other, they've learned sharing with each other. When they go to school and when they will have other children with them, just make sure that they are in separate classes. They will make new friends and they will play with other children. As of now, if they are a little older and if the situation is still there, then individually, one by one, take your child to different places to play. The father is taking one child to some other park and the mother is taking the other child to some other park, and let them see other children playing. Let them do the onlooker play. Let them see what the other children are doing, how they can participate in them, and that would probably help him or her to get involved with other children.
Similarly, there's a question. My son wants to play with elder kids, but they don't want to involve him. So he feels really sad about it. Please guide. I think what you mentioned right now, onlooker play. So we can start with that. And initially, I feel the child should be asked to manage on his or her own. इनिशियली इंटरवीनिंग नहीं होनी चाहिए पेरेंट्स की. पहले आप बच्चे को बोलो वो खुद ही मैनेज करे, देखे, समझे वो क्या करना चाहता है, वो कैसे करना चाहता है और खुद रिक्वेस्ट करे. बट हाँ, अगर if it is really not working out for long, because see, this will teach the patience in the child. This will teach बच्चे को भी समझ में आएगा मुझे क्या करना चाहिए, कैसे करना चाहिए कि ये मुझे अपने साथ खिला ले. और अगर बिल्कुल वर्कआउट नहीं हो रहा है, child has kept enough patience and it is not, then the mother or the father can intervene and understand or will ask कि भाई थोड़े से टाइम वर्क कर लेते. Okay, there's another question. Due to nuclear family, how he create distance child from mobile, because we are busy, they spend their time in mobile in that particular time. How to manage this? If you feel that mobile is the easy escape, okay, give the mobile. कुछ प्लान करने की जरूरत नहीं है, कुछ सोचने की जरूरत नहीं है. बच्चे को भी पता है उसको क्या करना है और पेरेंट्स को भी पता है मैं फ्री हूँ, because the child is with the mobile or in front of TV. मुझे कुछ नहीं पता. But if other way around, if you start planning, if you start creating those joy moments, joy-filled activities, home chores, आप बच्चे को इतना schedule.
I would also like to add something in this, Garima. I'm sorry, did I interrupt because your voice stopped when I started speaking? Were you telling something?
I was just saying कि आप उसको शेड्यूल कर सकते हैं, आप उसको प्लान कर सकते हैं, क्योंकि कितनी बार हम पेरेंट्स ही नहीं प्लान्ड होते हैं ना, तो अब उस मोमेंट हमें समझ में नहीं आता, तो हम कहते हैं हाँ ठीक है प्लीज टीवी देख लो, हाँ प्लीज मोबाइल लेके बैठ जाओ, मुझे अभी बहुत सारा काम करना है, मुझे मत डिस्टर्ब कर. So if we can a day prior, think about it, understand it, what all certain activities I can make them do tomorrow, it works wonders. I do it with my son because I know I am busy with my schedule and what to do. Then he'll keep asking. और अभी बच्चे बहुत ज़्यादा एक word use करने लगे, मैं बोर हो गया. अभी उनको एक चीज बताओ, मैं बोर हो गया, मेरा मन नहीं कर रहा है. I somehow don't understand what is the meaning of bore. They even get that? So basically us using it.
And बोर होना बहुत अच्छी बात है. बोर होने से ब्रेन बहुत अच्छा डेवलप होता है. We all should know that. When children are bored and when they are doing daydreaming, ये सब बहुत अच्छे signs हैं. Anyways, but the question that has been asked for by this person, that क्या करना चाहिए कि बच्चे फोन से दूर रहे. मैं आपको एक बहुत सिंपल सा क्वेश्चन पूछूंगी, उसी में आपको सबको आंसर मिल जाएगा. What did your parents do when there was no phone? वो आपको कैसे इन्वॉल्व रखते थे, वो आप सोचिए, समझिए, आपको सारे आंसर्स मिल जाएंगे. And these are the best way to involve our children in this time when they are at home. मुझे याद है, my siblings, my friends, when we were 7-8 years old, तब हमें दुकान से सामान लाना आ गया था, हमें बहुत कुछ घर के छोटे मोटे काम करना आ गया था, जब गेस्ट आते थे तो पानी पिलाना आ गया था. All that we knew it because our parents unknowingly, क्योंकि फोन नहीं था तो हमें इन सब चीजों में इन्वॉल्व कर करके प्ले वे में सिखा के और ये सारी चीजें हम सीख जाते थे. So just understand what our parents did, your parents did when there was no phone to involve you as a child, and you will get lot of answers. I think rest of the questions we can ask our parents to send it to us via email, and we can take rest of the questions later. And I think I would really want to thank ECA and Swati ma'am for this wonderful opportunity to speak on something which is very close to my heart, because even at this age, I love playing, so I can understand how much children would love to play. And I hope as parents, teachers, and all the other educators understand the importance of this word play and inculcate in our lives, each other's life, and our future kids' life, so that we have some wonderful generation coming to us.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you so much for joining us.